Okay, so here we go. I just recorded, I don't know why I keep adjusting, okay, I just started recording on a new webcam that I have, so I'm trying something different where I have a green screen in the background. You can tell me if you want, like, whether or not you like this method, but I'm going to try to go a little bit faster than I did in the other class. By the way, I'm using a green screen method, so you can see, like, I have a green screen here, so to try to get rid of, the background so that I can basically shove myself into the corner and still be a little bit bigger so you can see me, but it's irrelevant. This is going to be the presentation that I do for English 1302 and for Britlit, because it's basically the same presentation you're giving. It's just slightly different. You may or may not, during the course of this, hear my child, my wife, my dog. He's barking for some reason. I don't really know why. He's scraping along the floor a lot. Don't really know why. But that is happening. And so we just, as long as we all know, it is what it is. I'm going to make this big so we can see it. So was it Shift F5? That doesn't matter as long as I hit it. So the research presentation, we're 10% of your final grade in the class, so pretty important. I'm sorry I look really haggard. It is what it is. We all look haggard right now. There's no need to be scared of this. Think about the fact that I'm going to be grading this easier than I probably normally would, and I usually grade it pretty easy. Almost everybody gets 100 in these the face-to-face presentations, so I'll be trying to do the video presentation about the same way. I can't my daggum survivor thing on. It's ridiculous. Is that basically what I said? There's a couple different options here with the presentation. I'm going to go through each option and the requirements for each briefly because I have a more detailed version later on. So I know that because we're online and we're not face-to-face, normally what would happen is you would come 2 different days, week 15. We would do presentations in class. You get up here for a 2 or 3 minute presentation. People would ask you questions. You'd sit down. That can't happen. However, I do still want to preserve the presentation element. I mean, even right now, people are having to interview for jobs using Zoom, and various conference methods and Microsoft Teams and all kinds of stuff. You'll eventually have to do something like that or actually have a face-to-face interview meeting. By the way, you also might hear a guy coming and trimming our hedges right now as well. Social distancing is fine. He's out there. So I really understand too, some people don't feel comfortable on video, so there will be a video presentation option, but there'll also be an audio presentation option, which will be a little bit harder, but I want to preserve options for those who don't feel as comfortable on video or who just don't have access to the internet speed that they need to get this stuff done. Granted, if you haven't had access to internet at all, then you wouldn't be able to see this video I'm making or be on Blackboard. I think if you have enough speed to get on Blackboard, then you have enough speed to upload this assignment in the audio form. Video, maybe not so much. But I will go through each option, how it works. I don't think you need to be worried about it. If you're doing the video option especially, I think that it's going to be super, super easy to get this done and quickly. Here's how it works. There's 2 full credit options, 1 3/4 credit option, and a less than half credit option. There's also a no credit option, but it's useless. So the full credit option is a video presentation, only has to be 2 minutes. You're going to post a YouTube link to the video that you've made in a discussion forum, so it does have to be a YouTube post. You're going to ask 2 other people questions on their threads, and you're going to answer the 2 questions that are asked of you. There may be more questions, but you only have to answer 2, and should only answer 2. There's another full credit option. There's an audio presentation of 2 minutes, just like the video presentation. The only difference is you also have to submit, in this case, you have to attach the audio presentation as a file instead of giving a YouTube link pasted in the messages. You also have to paste a typed outline of the presentation into Blackboard, into the messages box of that thread that you create. Because it's going to work a lot like the research paper peer review assignment did, where there's like a discussion forum you go to, you create a thread, you do your main post first, then you go and reply to other people. But with audio presenters, you are attaching an audio file, and you are pasting your document, which is the typed outline. Then you're going to ask 2 other people's questions, answer 2 questions asked of you. The 3/4 credit option is exactly like the full credit option 2, where you're doing an audio and a typed outline, but you're submitting it to a hidden presentation assignment link that I'm going to show you where it is in a little bit. The half credit option has no audio presentation whatsoever. It has you typing the outline though for the presentation. That's if you don't want to do anything. But That one won't even get you half credit on the assignment, because the 3/4 credit option where you're doing the audio presentation, you're not submitting 2 people. That already gets 25 points lopped off of 100 grade, so it's you're gonna lose 2.5 out of the 10% of the class, because this is worth 10% of the class. So it's 2.5 points off your final grade, like out of 100. And then the less than half credit option means that if you just do the typed outline and you only submit that to the hidden presentation link with no audio presentation at all, I'm just grading you on the outline itself, which means I'm going to grade it harder. And the only points you're going to get are going to be your essay average as a percentage of those 5 points. So if you only did like 2 essays and they were the 2 first essays, and so your essay average is like a 23, then you'll get 23% of those 5 points, which would be about 1.25 points. I mean, why even bother? Now, if you've got like an essay average of like an 80, then you'll get 4 out of those 5 points, because 80% of 5 points is 44 points. So that's what you get. You can see that the far beyond the best option is the video one, and I'm going to show you how that's actually not that hard. I'll give you sample video presentations too, but let's go through the bits first. Here's the format for all presentations, whether audio, video, or typed outline. They will all include this information, with or without the questions. You'll present why you chose your topic. You'll state your thesis. So you're going to mention the human problem, the story, the real world issue, comparison, imply importance of comparison, and you'll go over the arguments within your paper that help prove that thesis. So it's why you chose your topic, state your thesis, go over the arguments to help prove that thesis. Now, whether you're presenting in video form, audio form, or typed outline, you will be presenting in this format. So now, technically, as long as you mention your thesis, briefly go over each article. I'm sorry, that's actually wrong. I'm going to change that note. It's going to say, as long as you state your thesis, go over the arguments, you made your paper, and you chose your topic. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, it'll be fine, as long as you cover that information. Now, more detail. So why you choose a topic, when you state your thesis, that thesis should mention, at least in the course of your presentation, you should be mentioning your human problem. So like, what is it, selfishness, pride, something like story, which should be literary work, doesn't have to necessarily be just a story. The real world issue that you have that's going on, and then show how they compare and also imply the importance of that comparison. So we should understand why this is an important thing to look at, like why we're caring about this world issue, also in what way it relates. You're going to go over the arguments within your paper that help prove that thesis after that. So basically an outline of the ways in which you compare them throughout your paper. And I'll show you on the sample typed outline in a minute how that works. Now, here's the format for all video and presentation questions. Okay, so basically that's what you're doing on the video or the audio or even the typed outline. But the questions, once you've posted it, how do those questions go? So how many questions, how do we ask, who to ask? You must only ask 2 questions. They must be on 2 different presentation threads. You must always ask questions to the 2 oldest presentation threads that don't yet have 2 questions asked. So if it's 2 older threads, but they've already got 2 questions asked, you can't do that. Do the ones that don't have questions asked yet. Generally speaking, all the ones before you will have questions asked, with the exception of the last 2. That's how it should work, but always, check just to be sure. Now, do not ask questions without viewing and or listening to the presentation, especially not in full, because I'll be viewing the presentations as well and listening to them. So if you didn't, it'll be painfully obvious, because you'll ask questions about stuff that was obviously there. Like, for example, if somebody says, did anybody who you were like reading about or like reading articles on, did they cover the Black Lives Matter movement? And if that was like literally the last thing that they covered in their presentation, where they're talking about Black Lives Matter over and over and over again, and you said, did anybody cover the Black Lives Matter movement? It's going to be strange, because you had the opportunity even to go back and listen again, like if you missed something. So it's going to be painfully obvious that you didn't listen. Now, once you see that any of them has 2 questions, consider that locked, move on to the next one. Don't ask more questions if it's already got 2 questions. I don't have the time though to go and just lock all the threads though, so just pretend like it is locked. And now, what kind of questions can you ask, not ask? So I don't want basically generalized questions, and I don't want personal questions. So, for example, I wanted to make it seem like you were attentive and that you're specific to that presentation, and that you're being objective and not being personal with that person, making them give up their subjectiveness. So don't ask questions like, what was your favorite article? That's just super general. What were some statistics on that issue that you found? It's general. You could literally ask that to any presentation. Or, what do you think personally about this topic? Or have you ever had to personally experience this? Or do you know anybody personally who's had to deal with this? I mean, I one time got a suicide question. Somebody said, like, have you know anybody who committed suicide? And somebody said, yeah. And then, like, the person started crying. And the person who asked the question started crying. Everybody was crying. I don't want that ever happening again. So nothing like that, please. Instead, ask these kinds of questions. So, did the author of that article you had in your talk on methamphetamines, did they explain what makes them so addictive as opposed to something like marijuana? You didn't cover marijuana in your presentation, but did it? That's good because it's attentive. It's specific to that topic. They were comparing, methamphetamine addiction to something like, I don't know, Antigone, or like Love Sung a Joffrey Proof Rock or something. And it's subjective. It doesn't ask the person to give their personal opinions on things. It just asks about their topic. Something like, as well, is fracking legal in all 50 states? Or is your paper only about a few states? And were you mostly trying to make the comparison with the grandmother, like in the story? That's attentive, it's specific, it's objective. So I think that works out a lot better. I've noticed too that it makes it look like you're a better question asker when you ask those kinds of questions. Now, how do you answer them? So who do you answer? How do you answer? Only answer 2 questions that are asked of you. I understand that sometimes people might show up to your thread and like 3 people are there at the same time. They all ask questions and you end up with 3 questions and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But just answer 2. I'm sorry, it's like it's the only way I can have it, because sometimes I've noticed when people answer more than 2, something wonky happens with the grading, and like I'll grade it, but the grade doesn't show, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. So just do the posting of your thread, then 2 questions, then 2 answers. That's all I want. If somebody asks you a question that's a simple yes or no, do not answer with a simple yes or no. Answer with a yes or no, but then give a detailed follow-up to that yes or no, explaining why it's a yes or no, giving detail about it. Like my sample presentation that I usually give that I like a lot better is, yeah, isn't that murder, when talking about like physician-assisted suicide? And so the question technically is a yes or no, isn't that murder? But you would say, no, according to the articles that I read, it's not really murder because these people they're in pain, they want help, they want out, so they request it. So it's like they would do it on their own, but they don't have the power to do it on their own, so they use a doctor to help them, and they're also helping get rid of the pain. So it's a whole complicated situation. So it's not something murder. See, it was a yes or no answer that I didn't just do with yes or no. Now, if by some chance there are 3 questions about your presentation, only answer 2. Hopefully there only are 2, and you only answer those 2. Now, the video and audio quality type requirements for presentations. Must be a YouTube link if you do a video presentation. And I'm going to tell you more about YouTube help at the end of this presentation. But you may record video on a computer or a phone. I'm currently recording on a computer, but I have like a webcam on my computer. I also have an additional webcam that I bought. By the way, these things are on like $225 right now, but I just kept a watch list on Amazon, camel.com. And I was able to get it as soon as they came available. So like I bought it and I tried to post a link somewhere so people could buy another one, but within the hour they were all gone. It's crazy. All spoken for. So you might hear my kid right now. I don't know how good my microphones are, but on computer or on phone. So those are the 2 options you have for recording the video. I mean, you could do a regular camera too, but I've just never heard of anybody doing that. I think you can do it directly to YouTube or in the camera app on your phone. Almost all phones have a camera app. Computers as well. Like I can just hit the Windows button, type camera, and a camera pops up. You could do this inside or outside. I don't really care. As long as you're well lit and I can see you, that works. You can be informal wear or casual clothes. So if you feel a lot better like getting dressed up, you can. Or if you just want to wear like the clothes that you're wearing around the house, within reason. Like we don't want to. It's not going to be inappropriate in any way. There's going to be people watching this, so. Additionally, I mean, if you feel more comfortable in makeup, put on makeup, get your hair done. I don't think you would have to do anything like that. I did notice the other day like for example, my wife, she one day was like getting her makeup done and her hair done, and sorry, it's my dog. And I was wondering like, well, why are you doing that? And she said, well, I've got a Zoom meeting with a bunch of people, and so she felt more comfortable, like getting all like, made up and stuff that particular day. Like, and I thought she was going somewhere, and I was getting all jealous. I was like, what do I get to go somewhere? But if you feel more comfortable that way, do it. But do not feel pressured to do that. It's just a quick little video. It's only supposed to take up a little bit of your time, like 5 minutes of your day, maybe. Like, as long as you feel comfortable about your paper, you're like, I remember my paper. I can talk about it. Blah blah blah. It only takes you like 5 minutes. If you do the audio presentation, you don't have to worry about that at all. The only thing you'll have to worry about is, do I want to record my audio inside or outside, or on a computer or phone? It's a little different with a computer or phone. Like computer, I don't really know a good way to record on a computer, just the audio. I know how to record on a phone, just the audio, which is a voice memo app, and then I can, on my iPhone, I know I can like do the share button and then share it to my Files app, and then my Files app, I can either email it to myself. I think I actually submitted it from Blackboard from the phone was how I did it. I don't know, it's really weird. But there's all kinds of options. I think the video is the easiest option because we are a video society, and videos just become the standard form in which we communicate. YouTube is huge. And usually if we're listening to audio, it's either like, Discord chats or music. Presenting something, I mean, we have Twitch, we have YouTube. It's just the standard. So, but if you're doing just audio, you can do it inside or outside, with or without noise. Even on video, that's fine. It's gonna be easier to block out noise though on a video than it will be on an audio file. And you can go straight through or repeat it yourself a lot, but I'd try not to give like some like 10-minute video or audio that somebody's gonna have to listen to, or that has a whole bunch of interruptions in it. That's gonna be difficult. However, I would still suggest go with your first or second take on whatever presentation video you do. If you go much more than that, you'll end up continuing to go on like that until you get it perfect. And it's never going to be perfect. Usually after the first or second take, it continues to get worse over time. You'll go crazy trying to get it perfect. So watch my samples to see kind of how I do it. I'm going to be doing first or second takes on all of them. And I'm going to do it with my family around too, so like you can hear that. Like this video, not so much, but then that one, yes. And in fact, I'm going to show you like real quick like where that gets posted. So I'm going to go back over here to Blackboard, and I'm going to show you, like, let's say we go to our class 1302. It's going to be in the same spot for Britlit. But if you go over here to assignments, I've added this new assignment here. It's research paper presentation. It has instructions here if you want the full credit of the 10% of your grade, or if you don't want it and you just want to do like the hidden link presentation submission, you can do that down below. But I'm going to talk about this first. Let's say we go here. Notice you have to create a thread. It's not going to show you anything yet. You're going to have to create a thread first. It's going to be a post first form. And then I've cut it down to only the presentation instructions that apply to you. But it says in there that what I want is, if you do your name, so you're going to do, there's somebody out there cutting leaves, but I don't know, Magnus Braga. And it's going to be English 1302. And if you're Britlit, you put the Britlit number in there, which is 2323. But I'm going to do 1302 for right now. And let's just say, presentation. You don't even have to do that. I mean, you can just say it's a research presentation. As long as I can tell it's a presentation, and you know it's a presentation. Video, if you want to add that, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to get a drink real quick. Now from here, if you're doing the video presentation, all you do is post a YouTube link. That's it. So I've got a window open here with a YouTube video that I've posted in there. All I got to do is come up here, copy that, go back over to this other window, paste it. That's it. I'm done. I go down here. I don't have to attach anything. That's it. I just hit submit. Boom. Totally done. If you're doing the audio, it's a little more difficult. So I'm going to do a create thread here, and I'm going to say Magnus Baraka research presentation. Man, I'm getting kind of thirsty. Audio. If this is the case, I'm going to do the browse the computer first thing so you can see. Not here. I'm going to go over here to, I think I have some audio files in the music area. Music, but I want to do not a song. Let's do like, yeah, I've got the, in fact, let's do grade conference one. I think I've got the old, yeah, I did the grade conference sign-up sheet. Updated for my phone. So it's an M4A file. You can see right there, M4A. And that's going to be an attachment. Now I have to paste my typed outline, because you can only attach one file that is to a thread. And since I can't do the audio file here, and you can't post audio files to YouTube, I've got to do the typed outline pasted. So I already know I've got that here somewhere. Let's see, which one is it? This? No, that? Yeah. So there's only one other thing I need to do here, which is I need to add how I came, like why I chose this topic. So let's just add that real quick. Let's just say why I chose it was I saw something in the news about Westboro Baptist Church and wondered who they were. Then thought about that short story about the preacher, and luckily Nichols said they were different enough to work, and hypocrisy linked them. Now you can see, like, it's a little, make it a little bigger so you can, I don't know why I didn't make it bigger till now. So it covers like a little bit more than a page. It's not a big deal. And what I'm going to do here is there's a little trick you can do. Control A will highlight the whole thing, and then I can go copy. I'm going to go over here to my thread, and I'm going to paste it. And it looks okay. It's not perfect, but it's going to work for now. Sometimes it'll put like giant spaces in there. You can just get rid of them. Notice that's going to cause a problem if I try to fix that, so I'm just going to leave it. It's going to mess up all my outlining, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Now I've got my outline in there of my presentation, and I have my audio of it, so I'm going to hit submit. And when I go and view here, notice in a YouTube link, I'll click it, and a YouTube video just starts playing. I can go back, and I can watch the video, and then I can make a reply. Let's assume that I've actually watched the video, right? Let's say I go, why did you choose to do the Westboro Baptist Church specifically and not something a bit broader like discrimination against gay marriage today? And maybe so that shows that I was listening to the presentation. I paid attention to what was going on. And then like Magnus Brock will reply and say, I thought about doing gay marriage, but one of the issues with it was that it just didn't sync up as well as the situation involving funerals, since funerals play a part in the story, as does having a respectful attitude at them. So that's an example like of if somebody asks you a question, you would then go reply to that question. I'm not saying you would reply to yourself. This is just an example. Then you would hit submit. And then you would see that twice. So people ask you questions like this, you reply twice, and then boom, you're done. Now, let's go back and let's go to the audio presentation. Let's assume that I asked some questions to the audio presentation as well. So what's lucky is I've got this right here. I don't know why that's there, but it is there. I don't know why the male symbol is here, because all I had was a guy shrugging, as you can see on this right here. There's a dude shrugging. What's up? I'm a shrugger dude. This guy's like, nah, it's just a male. That's kind of reductive. It's kind of, I don't know if it's sexist, but it's like, you don't matter as a person, just as a, so notice how this right here, this file is 300, it's a 15-second audio file, and it's 367 kilobytes. Audio files are a lot smaller. I tried to do the video presentation this way by attaching, and I noticed a huge problem was that on like a 3-minute video, it was like 58 to 100 megs, and like it took me, when I was trying to upload it, my gosh, like I think it took like it was trying to take like 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know if the Blackboard upload is slower with larger files, but I could see it down at the bottom just uploading. And then I've had it happen at school before, where it would just the upload would cut off, and the internet's not that slow at school, so it would just cut off and you had to start over. It's just too hard. With the audio files, they're small enough where even like a 5-minute audio file will only end up running you like 2 or 3 megs, which is very small. That's less than the size of a photo on an iPhone today. So audio is just going to work a lot better for if you need smaller file sizes, and then a typed outline is not going to be that bad. This is actually just an old song I had. Use an app called Acapella to do multiple tracks. Now, I don't know if this is Amazon Web Services that presents audio this way or Blackboard specifically, but it's very easy how it pops up like this, just like when you go to YouTube in the other window. It gives you the option if it's something you can't stream for some reason, you could download it, but I don't know how you have any more luck downloading than you could streaming. Once you've listened to it, though, then you come back and you make your comments just like before. You hit reply, and then you'll reply, and so on and so forth. So that is how to do the audio present, and then you'll look through here and you'll say, okay, well, this one has 1 total post, so this one probably hasn't been answered yet. This one has 3. This probably has like either 2 questions or a question and answer, so I could go look first. But once you see that something's got 5 total posts, which is going to be the original, and then like the 2 questions and 2 replies, you need to step away. You could go check if you really want to and see if for some reason the guy got 1 question and gave 3 answers. I don't know why you would do that. You could check. But chances are, if anything, it's going to be somebody gave 3 questions, and so the guy's just waiting to give 2 answers. So it's going to be less likely the guy gave more answers than there were questions, which means you probably just need to stay away from ones that have like 4 on there. 3 means it's possible it's like a question and 2 replies. Basically 3, check it out. 4, probably don't need to. And then the audio, you saw how that worked. But it's going to be significantly easier to do the video, I think, because once you do it, you're done. You don't have to type anything up. You could literally do it off the top of your head, and that would be good enough. Because you just have to make sure you cover the information that's there. And what is it? Hey, come to your topic, your thesis. As long as you get your thesis written down, you're good. And then go through like what you remember writing about on your paper. Like, I think I talked about this and that and this. Have some handwritten notes or something, typed up notes. I don't care. Not necessarily required. So then we're going to come back over here. Let's not do this yet. Let's go back over to the presentation, which is there. Then I've got the typed outline requirements. I might be having to talk over a dude outside trimming my bushes. I apologize for that. But typed outline requirements, video and audio presentations. The video presentations have no typed outline requirements because they don't have to have one. But I thought I would mention that again. If you do a video, it's the only way to get out of doing a typed outline. But you have to do a YouTube link. You can't upload a video file, just so you know. Audio presentations, you must have a typed outline submitted simultaneously, whether that's done at the hidden link or on the research paper presentation discussion. It can be MP3, M4A, or M4R. I've noticed those all work. You must have the typed outline copy paste in the discussion message box as long as you do the video and audio presentation, but you must upload as a separate file if you're doing the other thing. Here's the typed outline format, and I've got an example on the other slide, but you're going to have your outline for research presentation, how I chose my topic, introduction that kind of covers the human problem, literary work, world issue, your thesis, and then outline of the body paragraphs. And that's how it needs to look for everybody. So I've got it here, and it's a lot smaller here, so I'm going to go over to my actual big one. Why I chose the topic, the intro, so you're going to talk about the human problem, which is hypocrisy here. Miniatures Black Veil is my literary work. Western Baptist Church, my real world issue. My thesis is, and you're going to want to say it directly, Hawthorne's portrayal of the hypocritical townsfolk in the Miniatures Black Veil is nearly identical to the protests of Western Baptist Church in the sense that both claim a profound love of morality, yet only those crowned and sin never themselves. The thing about the thesis is it mentions all 3 of those, the human problem, story, real world issue, and combines them, compares the story and world issue, and then gives a reason for that comparison. So you can see that I'm looking at the idea of hypocrisy and morality. So those are problems. So yeah, it's relevant. Then I go through the different paragraphs that I had. So I noticed that I had a paragraph about going against the societal norms. So Hooper acts different with the veil, and the gays act different to the Western Baptist Church with not being heterosexual like that church wants. So in both cases, there's somebody acting different, and the larger body doesn't want them to. Respect at funerals. Hooper has respect. Townspeople gossip. Families have respect at military funerals, but the Westboro Baptist Church basically gossips by shouting God hates fags. There's a moral judgment element where Hooper judges them on their deathbed and says, you think I'm wearing the veil, but you're all wearing the veil from my perspective. You've got separation between each other, and that's what I've been trying to teach you. Westboro Baptist Church still doesn't learn that lesson, and that's kind of the implication here. And he uses Bible verses to kind of sell it home. And he asked if it was okay, and I said, yeah, it's okay, because you're not advocating for these verses. You're just saying these people follow this book, and they're not following what they preach. So they put that in here as well. So he had like a bunch of different paragraphs. He had one, it's this, 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 and this. He actually had a bunch of paragraphs in his paper. So there was an intro, 1, 2, 3, and there was a thesis paragraph, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8 closing paragraph. So he actually had an 8-paragraph paper, broken down to 4 body paragraph elements and 3 paragraphs in the introduction. Actually, it's 9, I guess. So it's 4 with 4 body paragraphs, and yeah. He didn't break it down quite that way like he should, but that's how it should have been. He did a closing, so basically like a restatement of like the thesis, but like in a different way. So everybody's gonna have to have an outline like that. Doesn't have to be color coded or anything, but it does have to be there. So that is that. Now the full credit option 1 instructions, I've already kind of taken you through that. I'm going to take you through the other instructions in a minute with 3/4 and the half, less than half. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But the full credit option was, you just go over here. It's under assignments. You go to presentation. You post a thread. You do what I showed. Submit. Then you wait for 2 people you ask 2 people questions if there's already other people there besides you. You then wait for people to ask you questions so you can then answer them. Once you've answered them, you're done. You wait for a grade. Video presentation is super easy because all you gotta do is post the YouTube link. No need for typing out an outline. If you do the audio, though, you do have to type out an outline. People won't see you, but you won't have to type. So it's a lot less effort, I think, because the typing out an outline is going to add, oh my gosh, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes to the whole thing. I'd do it just for notes, but people don't have to do that. I do it so I can give a better presentation. That's just how I am. You don't have to, though. Audio-wise, if you do the audio one, you have to do the typed outline. You submit that as well, but it's the same thing. Post, do 2 questions, wait for people to ask you questions so you can do answers. And as long as on both of these it's not terrible or offensive or something like that, you at least try to mention your stuff. You basically did what you're supposed to. You're going to get 100. Okay, so I would not worry about this grade. It's going to be a super easy grade to get. The 3/4 grade option and the less than half credit options are a little bit different. You basically post the exact same stuff that you would for an audio presentation that you could get full credit for, but this way you're going to be doing it for 7.5 points. If you want to do that, or just the typed outline option, which is this less than half credit option, you would go over here, and I say this in this assignment link here, but it says if you don't want to do any of the full credit options, go below. And it says that you go to a secret area. You go to the lesson videos section over here. Go to a lesson videos for fall 2016 section, okay? And then you're going to click the hidden presentation link assignment. It scrolled all the way at the bottom. So I'm going to go lesson videos. Scroll down to my lesson videos fall 2016. And then you're going to scroll down, you're going to hit this last little thing right here. Hidden presentation link. What you're going to do is you can actually, with this case though, attach both files. So I'm going to attach the song file, which is the grading conference sign-up sheet song. I'm also going to attach the outline. So I'm going to go here to PJC 1302 research paper. Sample, no, not research paper, 1302 outline. I bet I'm yelling for no reason. You probably can't even hear that. Actually, you probably can hear it pretty bad. Notice I've attached 2 different files. I can tell it not to attach, but I've got my audio. I have my, make sure it's the right thing. You don't want to attach some random song. I've got the outline. Agree. I just am too introverted for this. Maybe that's why you did it this way. Literally, this is the exact same stuff you can get full credit for if you just go to the presentation link. Everybody there doesn't like doing presentations. Nobody likes those things. So don't worry about that. You're going to hit submit. Now I can't hit submit because I'm a teacher and say, you can't do that. It's exact same way if you do it for the less than half credit option. So this way you'll get 7.5 points if you do the audio presentation as well. If you figure out how to do a file, you figure out how to upload that file to Blackboard. It's much easier, I think, on the phone than it is with the video option with the YouTube link. Everything's easier with the video, though, because we just have lots of options in society for video. And then if you do the less than half credit option, here's the thing. You're going to submit a typed outline. That's it. I'm going to be very scrutinous this top outline. Oh, and by the way, if you're in a Britlit class, it's going to obviously be English 2323 hidden presentation link at the bottom of that folder, obviously, but just in case you didn't know. I do not want anybody typing into the submission box. I want you attaching a file. So you have an easy way to make it look better here. I mean, you have to do it on the actual presentation link, the discussion forum. You have to paste it there, but I would prefer everybody attach it. It's just we can't do that. But in this case, you can attach both, so you'll have a perfectly formatted outline. Now, the way you're going to get the points is, in this case, super easy, 3/4 credit, 7.5 out of 10. What you'll get is you'll get a percentage of 5 points out of 10, and that percentage will be based on whatever your essay average is. So, if your essay average is 90, you'll get 4.5 points out of 5. If your essay average is 80, you'll get 4 points out of 5, because it's whatever your essay average is as a percentage of that 5 points. And 80% of 5 is 4. So if your essay average is an 80, you get 80% of 5. If your essay average is 70, you get 70% of 5. It's not even worth doing anything if you have a poor essay average percentage. Write the essays. So those are the options on submitting 3/4 and less than half credit. If you don't want any credit for this, do nothing. And if that's the case, why have you watched this far in the video? Due date. Technically, this will be due by Thursday, May 7th at 11:59 p.m. It's right there. You can see it. I'm not adding anything to that. I'll still accept it after that, at least until the last minute of the class. Assuming I have time to read, view, hear assignments, among all the other assignments, I'll keep taking them. I plan to have a bunch of little separate sample presentation files. I'm going to prioritize showing how to video a computer presentation, how to video a phone presentation on the computer. I'll also try to show the best I can how to audio do a presentation. That's going to be a little bit tougher because how do you recording on audio? That's going to be a little bit difficult. But I'm going to try to provide these samples, but I live in a noisy world. This is without the kid and the wife. This is the hedges that are being trimmed, because you gotta trim your edges. Landscaping. I guess. I want to provide all these at some point, and as I come up with them, I'll add links to them that'll go to YouTube. But I'm also going to try to put them maybe in one big long video that's just a video of a bunch of different samples that are crammed together that I'm going to add to the video playlist, because I don't want to have a whole bunch of little different separate videos that make the playlist get too long. So I'm going to try to maybe put them in one big long video so there's like bunches of samples, and then give the time on like the very beginning slide of like where each sample is. Now YouTube. I suggest setting up your YouTube account with your Dragon Mail to prevent connecting your personal account unnecessarily. And make sure that the video you upload is unlisted, not private because then nobody can view it, not public because then everybody can view it, but unlisted means only people with a link can view it, and that's what you want. I think it's possible to directly record to YouTube. I mean, when you go on your YouTube app on your phone, I know, there's a little upload button at the top, like a little camera button. You click it and it gives you a recording interface, and you can record directly to YouTube. I do think, though, from the time that I've used it before, when I did that, it kind of records it on your phone first in like a temporary area, and then uploads it after you're done, but all within the app. So, I mean, I don't really think there's a way around having space on your phone to record it. I think you have to have some sort of space. I do want to say, though, please don't try to like record the thing on Snapchat 6 seconds at a time and then upload a bunch of pieces put together, so you can use filters or something. Use a traditional camera app or the YouTube method. But YouTube is definitely the easiest place to upload it, and the YouTube links work really well. Clicking from Blackboard, they paste in well. It just should work fine. So when you see my videos, you'll notice that I'll have lots of ums and uhs and noises all over the place, and there's no big deal about that. You don't have to isolate all that stuff. We're all at home. We're all trying to do the best we can. My one big piece of advice is not to get it perfect, but try not to get it perfect. If you can get it perfect and you have the silence to do that and you're that kind of person, that's great. But don't over labor trying to do that. All you have to do is speak knowingly about your research that you wrote, clear about your thesis, go through the points the best you can. I suggest using some sort of notes. Works best. It goes a little bit faster. You can do handwritten, typed on your phone. Doesn't really matter. Maybe just have your paper in front of you so you can call and highlight it or something. I don't know. But that's what I suggest. I'm definitely going to go easy. Final thoughts. I'm definitely going to go easy on those who present in some fashion, especially if it's video and other people can see it. I'm going to feel, my heart's going to reach out to you. I'm going to feel great. But if you don't try to do that, if you just try to submit to hidden presentation link, I'm already taking points off for that. So, I mean, I'm already not going to be like super happy with it, you can tell. I want to try to preserve that presentation idea. That's very important to me. I think it was a long learning curve for me as a teacher, because I'm, weirdly enough, I don't know if you can figure this out, but I know you know I'm socially awkward, but I was actually kind of an introvert around everybody except my family growing up. It was only until a certain point when I became a teacher and I went, I've kind of got to develop some sort of evolutionary adaptation of extroversion in order to make it through this, and so I did. And to some degree, those of you who go and work with people someday will have to do that. Even those who are like, well, I'm going to be a veterinarian, you still got to talk to the people who bring in the sick horses, and you're going to make them feel better. There's all kinds of people you have to do work with. You wouldn't even think about it. As an artist, you have to sell your work, and you have to make people want to buy it. It's just one of those things. So I want people to learn how to present, because you might have to have a Zoom conference interview to get a job if we can't get this whole virus thing locked up. So I'm just going to go ahead and say now, I'm going to stop myself. Good luck. I hope you do well. If you do a video presentation, I can almost guarantee you're going to do well. It's going to be very hard not to do well on that. And please email me with any questions you have. The Discord's still not active, but it's there. I open it at least once a day to check on it, make sure everything's going okay. You might be, well, why didn't you just do that? How's that different in email? Well, the only reason I'm doing that now is because nobody's using it. If people were using it, I would get on there more often. This is all super weird. I know it's all super weird. I'm going to be very sympathetic when it comes to the grading, assuming you do some sort of presentation element. If you're just submitting it to the hidden presentation link, blah. I think that's it. Okay, good luck. Bye. I should stop the video, huh?